Alright, hello everyone. This is another episode of Talking Swish with Larry. Unfortunately, Stephen is a little occupied at the moment at a birthday party. So we are going to do part 2 of episode 5 with a special co-host here today. He was on the show last week. Let's introduce back to the show, Duy.
I've got the upgrade. I went from guest to co-host. Take that, Stephen.
Yeah, Stephen was a little disappointed he couldn't do it, but unfortunately times didn't line up with our guests this week. So me and Steven did one last night, so he wasn't all the way super sad about it. We covered Jumpstart last night, similar to what we're doing today, covering the M21 cards. And it was fun because we didn't actually look at any of the Jumpstart cards beforehand. So we were caught off guard, like Thragtusk, Displacer effects, there's a bunch. Thragtusk with Yorion.
Oh yeah, they're doing some impressive stuff. It's gonna be quite the ripple, to say the least.
I'm looking forward because historic. Steven next week has the Lotus Box Invitational event. So he has to play historic, and so we're gonna be jamming a lot of historic this week to get him ready.
Nice.
So I think it's a week from this Sunday.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting.
I'm very excited to see how he does. We also got one of the other teammates, Liam. He's in the Mana Traders Swiss. He may.
Oh, yep, I saw that.
So it's very exciting.
Yeah, no, that's very good for him. I'm happy people are taking part of that. I actually forgot all about that Mana Traders event.
I tried to carve out some time to run events, but I only managed to get 4 or 5 games in. And then I was like, I can't finish another 5 games before the deadline's up because I have to go to work and go to sleep. So.
How's it work?
They do a really, really interesting setup. So they have, you have to enter the event. It's completely free to enter, which is really cool. If you are a subscriber, you get a higher tier of rewards than if you're not a subscriber to Mana Traders, which makes sense, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, they go, if you play 10 games and have a 70% chance, 70% win rate, then you are queued for the Swiss section. If you play 20 games or higher and you have a 60% or better, then you get accepted, and then it just goes from there. So you have to maintain a certain percentage. The more games you play, but the more games you play, the easier it gets percentually. But obviously, you still make up for whatever you lacked previously. And it's pretty simple. You go on there, click a button, click sign up, and then you just click play match now. They find you someone to play with on MTGO, and you just do the tournament on there.
Okay, that's actually cool. Me and Steven was actually talking about that when Liam was mentioning it in our team Discord, and we're like, why haven't we been doing those? But we've been kind of burned out from those. Yep. We actually haven't played no Magic. Well, Steven played a little bit of Historic yesterday, but other than that, I haven't played a single game of Magic since last Wednesday when we finished up the LCQ events.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't played any all week. Haven't thought too much about Magic. The first time I really think about it was doing these preview shows.
Yeah, it's good to take a break and come back to it.
Yeah, so I've been just taking a break, playing some video games, watching some Netflix and stuff. Went and hung out with the daughter for a while.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, just doing the normal stuff, non-Magic related. But we're about to get back into the gear,
Oh yeah, on the grind.
Yeah, went and pre-ordered me 50 packs for $50 so I can get ready for the... And I have 6 draft tokens right now.
Yeah. Because
I did all those Magic Fest weekly events.
Yeah.
And they gave us drafts for Arena to enter those. So it was free essentially.
Yep. No, I'll be queuing up for that stuff right after this as well. So.
Yeah, we're gonna probably be doing the Star City events coming forward. I'm not gonna do anything this week. I'm gonna probably grind some Ladder of Historic.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do much Standard. I know William doing that. We also had a guy that played in the PT last weekend.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Our actual guest today.
Oh, who is this?
A returning guest actually.
Oh.
He's a guy I have mentored for many years. I have brought him up from the bottom, and when he thought he wasn't going to achieve greatness and he was going to Yu-Gi-Oh, we talked him out of it, and I steered him in the right direction.
Well, that's good. 'Cause
yeah,
Yu-Gi-Oh is yeah.
I know, but unfortunately, he was very selfish today and didn't want to drive all the way the hour to us. So he's going to be on via telephone with us. So if the sound's not perfect, we apologize, but this is the best way to get him introduced and so he can join the party, so we can have some fun and we can talk about his PT experience moving.
Yeah.
But without further ado, let's bring Raymond Perez Jr. into the field. Hey, Ray, you there?
I'm here.
Yup, we're just like gave you a nice introduction for this, It came from the heart.
I'm excited. I'm excited to hear.
Yeah. No, it's you're returning onto the show with us. Today we're gonna do some M21. We're talking about all the players that have like tournaments coming up. Like Liam on the team has the Mana Traders event. Steven's doing that Lotus Box Invitational Championship event next week, and you actually did the PT last weekend. Why don't you go ahead and tell us how that went?
Well, I went a very solid 1 in 5. It was fun. I looked at the PT as basically a cash tournament because there was like no mythic points, pro points, anything like that going on. So I was just happy to play it, and I played it inebriated. So definitely did not make the best plays. Misclicked a lot. There was one crucial turn I needed to petty theft Elspeth Conquer's Death when I was playing against Bloody, and she was streaming, and I actually just cast the Brazen Borrower.
I've done that, and it's so tilting to do it too.
Yeah, and so then I was like, no worries, because like Teferi was going to come back. I was playing Team of Reclamation, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to have to jump through all these hoops to kill this Teferi now. And then I had 2 Brazen Borrowers in play, and she had Teferi, and I had Black Sun on 3. And I went to go attack with both my Brazen Borrowers to trade with one of her 2/2 Sharks before I blew up all my 3 drops. But then I skipped combat, and I still had to blow up Teferi. So yeah, it was just one thing after another. But it was fun though. It was cool.
That's the whole definition of when it rains, it pours.
Yes.
Yeah.
To say the least. To say the least.
But he didn't really do it with full mind on it. Like I said, there wasn't no mythic points. What's your thoughts on everybody online calling it a hashtag fake PT?
I think in my eyes, I can't really speak on anything else, but in my eyes, it's definitely not a real pro tour in the regard of like the feeling, the atmosphere, how much time and effort I personally would put into it. I would prep, you've prepped with the pro tour with me, and
yep.
There's weeks upon weeks of hardcore testing and research and thoughts and getting a house together or like showing up early, and there's just a lot more to it. So a lot of that mystique was removed from it being online, and I think the incentives about what the tournament actually gives you is also really huge. Like the prize purse is whatever. Magic players are degenerates, so you can offer them $8,000 for a normal pro tour as long as there's pro points involved, or like some type of incentive. I think people would still play it, but it's cool for the people that had success. Not taking away anything from them, but it's just this is the world we live in currently. So we just gotta roll with the punches, right?
Yep, no, I 100% agree. I know it would be so disheartening if this was I have some guys I know very well that this was their first pro tour actually, and that has to be unfortunate because that's not what you imagine. Because I know they were actually disappointed just because of the feel of it, and it doesn't make it any better. Like it's your first PT, you're super excited, and you have everybody saying fake PT.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is unfortunate because it's not just Wizards, right? Like SCG's online series is separate from their paper series, right?
Yep.
Energy
was the same way.
Yeah, everyone that's running their tournament series, they're running it separately from the paper version, and it's going to have impacts when they do the end of the year championships. Every single one of them.
Yep. Oh no, 100%. And Wizards wasn't expecting this, so we can't put it all on them. Like I get it's easy to just throw them completely under the bus, but nobody expected to have to do this all like now. Like I wouldn't imagine we'll have to make that decision.
Yeah, and I agree that we can't put the blame on lack of foresight of a pandemic. Obviously, no one's going to be able to go, hey, we should expect a really big pandemic next year kind of thing, and we should plan around that. But they should be able to see at the current landscape and plan appropriately. Like the plan right now is planning through the end of the year, at the very least, all digital.
Yeah, no, I agree, and they did make a good call. I think Wizards made a good call saying the events are just canceled.
Yeah. SCG hasn't made that, right? SCG is still saying that they are willing to run paper tournaments in like late season 2.
Ooh, what is going on over there, Ray?
I'm getting a call. But,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
that's my fault.
that's like the situation that I think we're in, is that if I think SCG wasn't quite ready to pull the trigger on canceling everything, and so they have this like half step with the online series, and then later on they might be going to going back to paper, but they really don't know. And unfortunately, with the way the U.S. is taking on the pandemic, we're just trending upwards.
Yep, I agree, and yeah, it's crazy because we found out that SCG wasn't officially canceling because one of our teammates, James, actually decided he wanted to get a refund on those vouchers that was only good for this year. And SCG responded to him email-wise and told him, like, we're still planning on doing Season 2, so we're not going to refund them. And it's like, I know you really want to be hopeful, but I think at this point you should just, like, cancel them and just move on. Like, yeah. I think it's just easier that way. Like, you're just, like, delaying the process.
Yeah, if we were in a different country, in a different climate, and maybe we approach this whole thing much better and much more proactive, we would be in a different situation where, yeah, the second half of this year, we could approach it with, yeah, there's a good chance we'll be back to normal. But the way things are, we're really expected to 2021 at this rate.
I've been saying that for a minute now. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been very advocate where I didn't expect to play Magic again this year.
You have the foresight for sure.
I was like, I always see the pure negative. Everybody trying to live in the positive. Ha! You silly fools. Be negative like me.
When you're so pessimistic that you're right every once in a while, you gotta really enjoy that, huh?
Yes, optimistic is for the weak. No, but regardless, even if we're not playing any Paper Magic, we still got new cards coming out.
We sure do.
And I know it's kind of exciting for me because I'm doing that CFB event this weekend.
Yeah.
The little single elimination thing you get when you're pro, because I did so many of those LCQs that I'm like pro for the rest of the year. So I'm going to go and do this weekend. No idea what I'm going to play yet.
It's overrated.
Yeah, I might just load up a deck and call it good. It's single elimination. Worst case scenario, I play one round and then I don't have to worry about it no more.
You get the rest of your day back.
It ain't like I paid for anything for it. I was like, all right, video games it is.
Yep. I just bought a ton of video games to try to get caught up on my backlog.
Oh, so I just bought a PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just bought a PS4 and I'm going to play me some Last of Us 2.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a good time.
I just bought a ton of single-player ones, so I've got a Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm working through that. I've got Spider-Man, God of War, Last of Us 2.
Spider-Man, yeah.
If you would need to borrow any of that, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, Ray, you a big video gamer?
Not at all. Magic's always been my video game. I got recently into video games with the Switch with like Zelda, but overall I'm not much of a gamer.
Right. Funny thing about that Switch, I actually scooped Ray to give him that Switch because he needed it more than me. But we can move on from that. We don't need to talk anymore on that. Let's just move on from this.
That's like quite the story. Scooped him into a Switch? I need to know about this a little bit.
I don't like to talk bad about people.
I bodied him.
You bodied him and crushed him and then took the Switch?
I scoop, but it's illegal to scoop the people. So I had to give him the illusion he bodied me. So everybody thought it was legit.
Did you just say it was illegal to scoop someone?
Yes.
Is there a specific text?
Oh, it was at that store.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's their house rules. So
okay.
Yep, I read the rules.
Yeah.
It was in the bathroom under the seat.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
Yeah, that's where they post that rule.
If we want to get technical, he was borrowing my deck, and I could have at any moment said I needed my cards back.
Oh,
That's not true. There was like 3 of them were Dewey's.
Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you to get my cards back today. I mean, I really need them with all this paper magic we're playing.
I know. That's what I'm telling people. I've been working on getting people's paper cards. I don't want you to not be able to play your next tournament.
Yeah.
I need to get these back to you.
Yeah.
No, but all jokes aside, M21 is coming out in a few days.
Yep.
I don't know, is it coming out fully or are they doing paper pre-release? I know here in Grand Rapids they're doing paper pre-release events.
People are doing paper pre-releases this weekend.
It's so wild.
And if you're buying any of the boxes and stuff, they ship early next week, they ship next week, towards the end of the week. So
okay, I know it launches on Arena like normal because it usually gets on Arena first. So different than how pre-release used to be, where you would have to go and do. I think Moto used to have them and you would have to you would pay and do some little simulations getting ready for pre-release. I used to do sealed simulators online to get ready for pre-releases. Mm-hmm. Pre-releases were fun at midnight.
Yep, I always enjoyed. I'm not that big of a limited player when it comes to sealed, but I always enjoyed doing a good pre-release. Like you're talking about midnight, get the friends, go eat terrible food for yourself, and then go and jam those, into the wee hours of 5, 6 in the morning to play. And I don't know, it was just a good time.
Yeah, no, it definitely was. I know. Well, back when we were doing pre-releases, we would do the midnight ones. I know I do the haul where I do all weekend. Call easy mode.
Yeah, midnight on Friday, or you can do them on Friday, and then Saturday, and then Saturday evening you'd be doing in our area. There was always a 2-headed giant on Saturday nights, so people would go and do that, and then Sunday do another one, and then another 2-headed giant or team one. So
yeah, I've never been a fan of 2-headed giant myself. Just slow. The play is too slow for my liking. Just because pre-release has a lot of new players that don't usually play Magic, so when you have 2-headed giant, there's more thinking. So the gameplay is just too slow for my liking.
That's why there's only one game, right, in 2-headed giant, which makes it better.
Yeah, but with 2 people trying to make decisions, it just takes time and.
No, for sure.
It just I find I get bored quickly doing it.
I always take pre-releases obviously as a fun event.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And I'm throwing away my money every time. So.
Yeah, I don't know. Ray, did you ever win all 3 pre-releases at our store in town?
No, I've gotten close. No one's ever done it. Russ has gotten close multiple times. Danny got close multiple times. Folger, I think, had a shot 1 or 2 times, and then I had a shot a couple times. But no one's ever done it. It's the least of.
I hope they have a championship belt for that.
They should, right?
If you get that right, I will get you a championship plaque at the very least.
Oh, I need to. I'm in. I'm in.
Well,
I'm gonna. Well, does it count if I'm the only one at the store in a pre-release?
If you're still able to claim first place, I'll be willing to give it to you.
Unfortunately, I need at least 8 people to fire this event. You see, I could have done it, but I decided I didn't want to take people's money. So I'm not that kind of person. Because at our store, Ray can tell you I was the best sealed player of all time. It's just, unfortunately, my skill was just surpassed everybody.
It was so good, it reverted back. You would have to lose just so we didn't think that he was a god.
Exactly. Ray calls me a god a few times,
Larry's a humble guy. He's extremely humble.
Yeah, I try to be as humble as possible,
Probably the humblest person on the team, to be fair.
Ask James how humble I am to him.
I have heard it over pizza.
Oh, yes, you have. No, but M21's cool. Ray, have you had a chance to take a look at any of the cards?
Yeah, I've looked at a total of 4.
Oh, that is a good number.
All right.
Oh, well, I think we should just jump right into it. Since Ray's not here with us, we're going to read the cards verbatim. We're going to just start with the mythics. We're going to start with some white cards.
All right.
Ray, you know this card, obviously. This is good old Baneslayer Angel. Good little reprint.
BSA.
Yep, for those that don't know what this does, it's 3 and 2 white. Flying first strike lifelink, protection from demons and dragons, and a 5/5. Angel, if I didn't mention that. Nice little sideboard card. It's pretty much going to do what was the other one? Lyra? Yep, it's going to do what Lyra did.
Yeah. Lyra was Lyra also a 5/5?
Oh, yeah, it was a 5/5. The only thing it didn't have was the protection from demons and dragons.
Yeah.
It also pumped your angels.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, and then it didn't give you other angels first strike?
I don't think
Lifelink.
Lifelink. So, yeah, they both had little relevant words on them, for sure. Obviously, Baneslayer is a sweet card. And I guess maybe there will be some dragons in this set when we're going through these cards, so maybe that keyword can actually be relevant.
Mm-hmm. And the fact that you can play multiples of this, where Lyra was legendary.
Yeah, this is true. You forget that this isn't legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's actually very relevant. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I would be very excited to slam this in a Bant ramp shell. I'm just gonna go Euro into this, and I'm solid.
I just know playing mono red, these kind of cards aren't what you really want to see.
Nope.
You know, I remember playing red decks, and then they'd be like Lyra, and you just put your head down and just shake it like, oh, this is gonna be tough. Thankfully, we have Fry.
My favorite moment was definitely making my opponent commit a ton to killing my one Lyra, and then I had the second one ready to go in my hand, and I cast it, and they just conceded. Done. Walked away from the table.
No, it's our Ray played a lot of blue-white. Did you play any Baneslayer Angels in your boards?
I would play Baneslayer in my main deck.
Oh, you would play it in your main deck.
Yep.
You were the next level.
Typically, control decks don't want to have creatures in the main deck because it turns on the removal, but in certain metagames, you just really want that creature that does it all, and Baneslayers always have that role.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true, and this card was just good. Yeah, it was just a good card. Yes. I know this card, my roommate in co-host, Steven's very high on. Mm-hmm. You'll be able to find out why in a few moments. It's 1 and 2 white Planeswalker, Basri Ket, legendary Planeswalker Basri. It comes in with 3 loyalty. It's +1 says put a +1 counter up to 1 target creature. It gains indestructible until end of turn. -2, whenever 1 or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens tapped and attacking. And it's -6 as you get an emblem at the beginning of combat on your turn. Create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a +1 counter on each creature you control. He loves it because he loves him some mono white, of course, you know. The card seems sweet though,
yeah, it's a 3-mana walker. That alone is a big deal. It comes down. It has relevant abilities. It doesn't quite protect itself, right? Because it's able to just be an aggressive card that lets you generate more tokens while you're on that aggression, and it lets you tick up slowly towards an alt. That alt seems quite impressive. I don't know if that's really ever going to happen with this walker, the way it's designed.
Right. No, it's a cool card. It might find some fringe play. But is it in the white creature deck? Is this better than Gideon?
I think it fulfills a different role.
That's true.
Well, it depends. Which Gideon are we talking about?
The one, what's that? Is that the one that's is a creature automatically, doesn't have the plus or anything?
Blackblade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a 3-drop, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 1 white.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I just didn't know, in the creature deck, do you all want the automatic indestructible creature over this?
Like that Gideon makes one other creature good alongside with it, and then it can swing. This one is for the go wide strategy, right? Like I've got a bunch of dudes, and I want to generate even more dudes. This Planeswalker fits in very well. Where Gideon is going to go in a deck that's like, hey, I can protect Gideon, and I can take my opponent down with just Gideon, or I have another creature, and I'm able to win off just that. Like you're not really going to put Gideon. Maybe not in the main deck, but maybe in the side of a more aggressive go wide shell.
Right. No, that makes sense. I don't know. You have any thoughts on this card, Ray?
It's not my wheelhouse. I think the card's definitely good. 3-mana walkers are generally pretty good. I think the fact that it can give a creature indestructible to end the turn will come up later rather than early.
Yep.
But the +1 counter definitely compounds. I can see some type of strategy with this card where you have a super go wide thing, maybe some ETB triggers from creatures, from the -2 ability. But I think it's good. There's definitely going to be some white aggressive deck in standard. There always is. I think a few people at the last PT played a white aggressive deck, so this probably will slide in there pretty well.
Yeah, no, this card, like I said, I don't think the card's bad by any means. Like I said, it's a 3-mana walker with really good abilities. All 3 of them are great. The neck 2 is really appealing to me. I like that a lot. But only time will tell for sure. I definitely think the card's good. The last white mythic we have is Mangara, the Diplomat. 3 and a white. Human cleric, legendary creature. Has lifelink 2/4. When an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and/or planeswalkers you control, you get to draw a card. When an opponent casts their second spell each turn, you get to draw a card. This card's cool. It has very relevant keywords in human, so that could be relevant. Card seems fine. It has some cool abilities.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm just being skeptical here, but I don't think this is going to see play in anything other than an EDH.
Correct. I agree. This is not a standard card.
Yeah, it's not standard. I don't see it doing anything in Pioneer. I don't think the fact that it's a human is relevant enough for modern humans or even legacy humans, because the effect, it's just not an aggressive card to begin with, and at 4 mana, that's pretty huge. You better have a game-winning effect.
Yeah, and in Legacy, Legacy be the only spot in that there. Are you really trying to pay 4 mana instead of like playing Piankir in the Lar, for example, which is a house in that format? Not a lot of people are swinging a bunch of creatures at you.
Right.
So that first ability doesn't do much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with that.
And this might be really useful though in Limited. Limited generally gets into those more clogged up boards.
Oh, this will be definitely good in Limited. It's a 2/4 with lifelink.
That has the potential upside to draw you cards.
Yeah, for sure. No, I definitely see this being good. This is a card that me and Ray was actually talking about a little bit yesterday. That he said he was high because time stops are usually good. 3 and 3 blue. How do you pronounce this? What does this say?
Discontinuity.
All right.
Instant. And it costs, as long as it's your turn, it costs 2 colorless and 2 blue less to cast. And it just ends the turn. And ending the turn here is exiling all spells and abilities from the stack, including discard. The players whose turn it is discards down to their maximum hand size. Damage wears off, and this turn until the end of turn effects end.
Yeah, this card seems sweet. I personally, when I was talking to Ray, I want to try this in Reclamation. That's like the first step I'm at. I don't know. Where would you imagine playing this, Ray?
I would play this in many different decks. I'm going to try a couple different things. I love time stop effects. They're just so useful. If there's ever an Eldrazi type of effect that we really have to handle, some type of cycling effect, something like that, like anything that goes on the stack where you're just like, no, I don't want to have this. I think having this type of effect is really good. As far as Reclamation, I definitely think that Reclamation has a tight build. I would probably want to try maybe 1 or 2 of them just to see how it goes, but the fact that it really doesn't do anything on your turn is kind of a down player. But
the only thing on our turn I could really see it doing if you ever get late in the game is like being able to play Euro for 3, but you'd have to have a lot of mana to pull that kind of trickery off.
Well, I mean, it's 2 mana, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you're casting an air charge, so that's not really a big cost.
Yeah. I guess that's true. Yeah, I was forgetting about the 4 less cost. I was reading it as it cost 4 instead.
Oh yeah.
When I was staring at it.
Yeah.
No,
and I think
makes
this
sense.
card can end up seeing some play in Pioneer. I could see this getting slotted into a 1 in the sideboard for any wish board. You needing to, I can't quite go off this turn, or I can't quite find the answer, pass it over my opponent, end the turn. And then I get to go off next turn, and they can't really do much about it.
Yep.
So.
The card seems fine. I don't know what builds they're going to be in, but yeah, I think the card's sweet. Like Gray was saying, time stop effects are pretty good. The next card I'm very excited about, it's been a long time. It's been quite a long time since we've seen one in Standard. We finally get a new copy of Teferi.
This is like the most hyped up card out of this entire set.
So we have Teferi, Master of Time. 2 and 2 blue. Legendary Planeswalker. Teferi. Welcome back static abilities.
Yeah.
You may activate loyal abilities to Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn anytime you can cast an instant. Now, with that being said, I've seen some people were a little confused that I was talking to. They thought that you could deactivate the abilities every turn. It's still 1 cycle.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I believe it's just still 1 cycle.
Oh.
You don't get to do it every turn.
I was under the impression of the other way, that you were able to activate it multiple times.
Are you able to activate it multiple times? That's not to my understanding.
But only...
maybe I'm wrong.
But you're only able to do it 1 effect per turn. But I can pull up their...
get the ruling on that.
Get the official ruling on it.
Yeah, because if that means you get to do it once per turn, that's a whole new ball game.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly how that works.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah. So this static ability is based on Teferi Temporal Archmage, where the ultimate on that was you can use Planeswalker abilities on anyone's turns. So you can only use it once per turn, but like, for instance, the play pattern is play Teferi, use it on your turn. On their turn, you can use it anytime, and then vice versa, back and forth, back and forth. That's why the ultimate's -10.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I see why this card is pre-selling at $65.
Yep. And so the idea also is that obviously the defensive ability here doesn't kill off the Teferi. It's because you're able to go +1 past their turn and then phase it out. And then it'll be alive at the 1, and then ideally you can get something else going to protect it, and then you just keep getting insane card quality, but not card,
Advantage, yeah.
actual card advantage.
Okay. No, we should go through the abilities.
Reasonably, yeah.
The +1 is draw a card, then discard a card.
Yep.
-3, target creature you don't control phases out. For those that don't know, when phasing, you treat it and anything attacking as though it doesn't exist until the controller's next turn. And then it's -10 is take 2 extra turns after this one.
And it does start off at 3 as well.
Yep.
But yeah, this is the only card in the set that I believe is anywhere near this price range. It's going for $65+ $60+ already.
Yep.
Everything else that even comes close to it is in like upper 20s, barely breaking over 20 if that.
Yeah.
So it is impressive that this single card is going to be the one chase card.
Now, I do think they made one mistake.
What's that?
With the static ability, it should have been loyalty abilities of any Teferi Planeswalker.
Oh gosh, no.
Just any of them.
I would just want for that card to be banned.
How does this work with Baby Teferi? Does that stop it or no?
What do you mean?
Because does it stop them since, or is Baby Teferi specifically? What's the wording on
casting,
that?
I believe.
Is it casting spells? Yeah, Teferi's gonna be interesting.
Your opponents can cast spells only any time they can cast a sorcery.
Okay, so it doesn't affect
you get
that.
to just keep doing whatever you want with this one.
No, I know you said and then it looks like this card's actually pretty selling for $30, which makes sense because it's a reprint.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the first time it's been reprinted, from what people were saying. Maybe the second at the most. Mm-hmm. And that's Grim Tutor. 1 and 2 black. Search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, and shuffle your library. You lose 3 life. 3-drop sorcery that lets you tutor up a card. That card's awesome for EDH. I don't know if it's played in any other formats offhand. I wouldn't imagine it's played in like Vintage or anything. I could be wrong, but I know it's EDH card for sure. Because tutor effects are usually where you want to be.
Yeah. I don't know of any popular decks that use it outside of EDH.
Yeah, I don't
there
either.
Might be some decks. Isn't like that Legacy or Vintage might play it, but there's better tutor effects that are cheaper.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Agreed.
Do you think this will get any standard play?
Oh yeah, I do.
Card's super strong. Strong card.
I don't know how much play it'll get, but I know that a cheap tutor effect will most likely get play.
Right. I don't know. How high are you on Grim Tutor, Ray?
I'm high on it that it's a reprint, and that's great. But as far as it being playable in standard, I've seen standard formats where things like Diabolic Tutor are playable. So it wouldn't surprise me having a 3-mana. The life loss is kind of negligible if you build your deck correctly. But I think that you really just need to have some type of true payoff, like maybe like an 80-card Yorian deck that has a whole bunch of silver bullets in the main deck to play like a Grim Tutor package or something.
Yeah, there's also that the black-white deck's getting really popular right now. Maybe they would slot
Rats deck.
Maybe they would slot 1 or 2 in there.
That is possible. Mentioning like black-white style decks, from when me and Stephen was talking last night, this is a card we're both pretty high on for like historic format, standard format. We were talking about maybe in like Pioneer as well, and that's Liliana, Waker of the Dead. 2 and 2 black, legendary planeswalker Liliana starts at 4 loyalty. It's +1 each player discards a card. Each opponent that cannot do so loses 3 life. -3 is target creature gets -X, which is the number of cards in your graveyard. It's -7 gives you an emblem. At beginning of combat on your turn, put a target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. The card seems awesome. Like, it's typical Liliana does Liliana things, you know.
So the first translation I saw of this card, for whatever reason, did not have the each player discards a card. It was each opponent discards a card, and then each opponent who can't draw loses 3 life. So I thought this card was even crazier.
Oh, okay. Yo, that card would have been super. That card would not be pre-selling at $10, I don't think. Like, it'd be at least $15. Like, that card would be awesome. But no, I think it's still a good card. Like, we're thinking about like doing like in historic, you can easily do like an 8-rack style deck because you got like Mind Rod and stuff in there, or Waste Night, or whatever it's called, the enchantment from the original Theros block time area. But yeah, we were just thinking about historic, like black white discard. You know, you got bugler rats and stuff like that.
I think my only problem with the card is the protection side of it.
Truth.
Is not always just going to be online for you. And that's the only thing that worries me.
I mean, I think that comes back down to deck building too. If you want to get full potential out of this card, you probably should like make sure you're ensuring like if I have this card, I need to slam at the negative. Am I going to be able to do that? No, the card. I like the card a lot. Hopefully, it doesn't end up bombing out because I think it's a cool design. Don't really have much about that.
Yeah, like you said, going in an 8-rack style, even if it was just a 1-of, would be not unreasonable.
Yeah.
Just so they can get another trigger for make them lose more life.
I agree 100%. Ray, have you had a chance to take a look at Liliana?
Yeah, so I got the spoiler pulled up, and it actually looks dope. Yeah. I actually read it as each opponent discards a card, and it wasn't until Dewey said...
Yeah, see?
Yeah, so I'm less high on the card now.
Yeah, see? So when I read the each opponent as well, I was like, this card is nuts. Straight nuts. I'm loving it. I'm very excited to see what decks is going to go in. Maybe these people are seeing something that I don't, that it's not pre-selling as well. And then I saw each player, and I was like, hype down.
They threw the water on me. It's over.
Yeah. I like the fact that she can defend herself when she comes down to any planeswalker that has removal attached to it. I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah, like I said, I think you should just build your deck accordingly. Like if you're gonna have like a walker like this, like.
And obviously you're gonna be playing out spells ahead of time. If you're doing the discard deck, you should have 2, maybe 3 spells in your graveyard already. If we're cracking some fetches to make it, increase the count, that's obviously reasonable. So.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I know we the last black mythic we have is Massacre Worm, 3 and 3 black, 6/5. When there's a battlefield, all creatures your opponent's control get -2 until end of turn. When a creature an opponent control dies, that player loses 2 life. Just a reprint. The card's cool. I don't know. Does it get much constructive play? I haven't really seen it, so
I could see it slotting into the Sultai shell right now, the Sultai ramp shell.
That makes sense, yeah.
I can see it going right in there when it's going against a go wide strategy. You're going to be able to drop a threat that's a reasonable threat by itself. It clears the board, and if your opponent wants to swing in, and when you first clear the board, they're going to lose a ton of life.
Realistically, I'm thinking historic personally because of Field of the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
You kill all those tokens, and they just die because they took 2 life each.
It's going to make you feel great.
Yeah, the card seems awesome against Field of the Dead. Like, we don't have to deal with it in standard, but in historic, that's a real thing.
And funny thing, in case you ever want to do it, if you cast multiple Massacre Worms, that is a static ability that's on it, and it will trigger. Or a triggered ability, and if both of them are on the field, they will both trigger. Because I definitely got that with one of my opponents at a GP, because I copied my Massacre Worm with a Phyrexian Metamorph, and they definitely lost 4 life apiece.
What format are you playing?
This was standard.
Okay.
Yeah, this was a standard format. There was this blue-black it was like a tier 1.5 deck, but it was around ramping with Sphere of the Suns and Solemn Simulacrum and Heartless Summoning.
Okay.
And then I would cast Massacre Worm if it was a creature heavy meta, or I would be casting Frost Titan and then copying it, just tap down their entire board.
Oh, that's actually cool.
It was a Titan rich format, so if you got your Frost Titan down to stop them from casting their Titan, or your Titan to stop their Titans from attacking, you end up winning the game. So.
Nice. Yeah. Do you see yourself jamming a bunch of Massacre Worms, Ray?
Definitely in the sideboard decks. I love it. Like Massacre Girl was very playable, and Massacre Worm I've had tons of success with over the years. That it's been legal, so I think this card's great.
Yeah.
I can't say how great it is until the format fleshes out. But
of course.
But from what we're seeing so far, I'm thinking that there's going to be little weenie creature-based decks that will be aggressive, and I think we're going to be able to, like you said, slot this right into the sideboard or maybe even the main and punish those players. So.
Yep, I agree. And then we have Chandra, Heart of Fire. 3 and 2 red. It's 5 loyalty. Discard your hand and exile the top 3 cards of your library until end of turn. You may play cards exiled this way. It's pretty cool. +1 it shocks any target. So it has 2 +1s. Then it's -9 to search a graveyard and library for any number of red instant or sorcery cards. Exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn. Add 6 red mana. Card's cool. I don't know if it's where you want to be in like the red shells, really, but just being 5 mana. But I could be wrong. It doesn't seem very appealing to me personally. Well, actually, I could be like dead wrong on this card. It just seems too expensive for what it really offers. Like, I feel like if you want that whole getting a additional card advantage with a Chandra, wouldn't you just play the 4-drop?
Yeah, Torch of Defiance seems...
Well, not Torch of Defiance, but it's the one that's in standard right now. Fire Artisan, I think is the name of it.
I don't know. I'm not that high on this card, at least not for standard. I don't think that there's a shell for it right now, at least with what the current meta looks like.
Yeah, because we have another 5-drop red card in this set in general that would be better for the red decks that we're going to be covering in a few moments than what Chandra honestly offers. Like that's the only reason I'm low on it. I don't see it being good enough for standard. Like.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's like other decks where you're doing the Blood Moon effects and you're ramping that you can fire off a couple rituals and send me a Spirit Guide, and you're okay with resolving this as the first threat you run out there because you can just use the exile effect and keep refilling it after that, or shooting anything every turn. But I mean, you'd still need to get this into play like turn 2. In order to make it worthwhile.
Yeah. I still feel like you just want to have them. In those formats, you have a 4-drop Chandra, which is just much better.
Yep.
I'm not big on this card at all. Like I said, EDH card for sure. Limited is going to be a bomb, but other than that, I'm not in. I don't know, Ray, do you like Chandra? Guess we lost Ray for a minute.
No.
But we have Fiery Emancipation, 3 and 3 red, enchantment. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead. This card's interesting, but it's just so expensive. This is an EDH card.
This is an EDH card. I have to imagine the price tag that it's getting right now is 100% because of EDH.
Oh yeah, this card, I played a little EDH. This card's awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to do exactly what you want to do. This could be into limited, but it'd be very hard to pull this off. That's a lot, man. And I guess if you get in some board stalls, it's actually pretty easy to get down.
Board stall, or if you have a slower, rampier deck, and you can resolve this and increase the power, I can see this being reasonable, but I'd rather just get an actual threat. Like, resolving Chandra would be more reasonable, or resolving the next card would be much more reasonable.
Yep, I agree. A card that I'm actually very excited about is this, the last red card, the 5-drop Mythic I was speaking of. It's Terror of the Peaks. It's a dragon flying 5/4. Spells your opponents cast that target this cost them an additional 3 life to cast. So it's like Thunderbreak Regent. And then whenever another creature is the battlefield under your control, this deal damage equal to that creature's power to any target. This is just a good card.
Absolutely.
This is a good Magic card. This is It's kind of like a hybrid of Glorybringer and Thunderbreak Regent. Because when another creature enters, you can start like shooting things down if you need to, or just killing them. This seems awesome for Gruul.
Yeah.
I don't know about Mono Red. I'd have to see where Mono Red's at. But definitely Gruul. Gruul is needing a good 5-drop closer after because they tried Sark and Hellkite a little bit, things like that. I think this is going to be actually really good for Gruul.
Yeah, and I really like the fixing that they did on that effect, similar to Thunderbreak Regent, that instead of Thunderbreak Regent shooting them for 3, this makes them pay the life right away when they're choosing to cast it, and it has that as built-in as an additional casting cost.
Yeah.
So.
Yep, that actually makes it where they can't even cast a spell if so they can't cast a spell if they don't even have the life, because they won't have the option, because you can't spell what you don't have.
Right.
The only issue that I have with the card is for the next few months we do have to still deal with Baby Teferi, because it doesn't do anything for Baby Teferi to target it.
Yeah, no, but I mean...
That's annoying, but, and it doesn't have haste, so that's always a downside, but...
It doesn't have haste, but when it comes, no, it doesn't trigger for itself. It triggers for others, but, I mean, it's still just a solid...
Oh, it's still a good card. I still think it's a good 5-drop for the Gruul decks.
Yeah.
I think that's where you want to be. And the next card, which is going to be a green card, is another card
I'm more excited about this for the Gruul deck.
Yeah. I actually think this card isn't very good, mainly because it's a Teferi format. Like, I can't justify playing cards like this in Teferi formats.
Okay.
But that's only a few months. This card's still a very powerful card, I think. This is Elder Gargaroth.
Yeah.
3 and 2 green. It's a B6/6. Vigilance, Reach, Trample. When this attacks or blocks, choose one. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. You gain 3 life or you draw a card.
Yeah.
The card's good. I think it'd be better in the mono green deck.
Yeah, either way, I think it's just a solid payoff. It can replace itself well, load up your board, and then, give yourself some life. So,
yeah, I'm looking forward to registering a mono green deck next week.
Yep.
Sitting there, I'm like, I have my 5th land, I play my forest, I'm like, this is nice. I play this, I'm like, I'm about to get me a trigger. They're like, all right, untap, play Baby Teferi, and put it back in my hands. Can't wait. It's going to be awesome.
I mean, you should be pressuring the board, right? You're in mono green.
It's going to be awesome.
We've got things to pressure the board.
Yeah, they board wiped me twice. It's
cool.
My
gosh, they just have everything. Are you going against Ray here, and he's just on solid blue-white control and just stopping you from doing anything?
Yeah, no, he's on Esper. He had the black too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had Kaya's Raz.
You get nothing.
You get nothing today, son. No, the card's cool. I do think the card's going to increase playability when Teferi does leave in a few months.
I do agree. I agree wholeheartedly on that it's going to be only a card that's going to go up in value and become stronger. So.
Yeah, no, I don't think the card's weak.
Yeah.
The card definitely has some really good abilities.
Yeah.
The attacked or blocked ability is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of Tectonic Giant from the last sets.
Okay.
But that one was attacks or becomes a target of a spell, I believe. If I remember, yeah.
Okay.
So there's similar abilities where they have a couple different module abilities where you get to choose which one you do. So I think those kind of abilities are pretty good in general.
Yeah, that one was when it attacks or becomes the target of a spell and opponent control.
Yeah.
To be one of the effects.
Yeah, and this one just attacks or block trigger. So, and it is a Vigilance, Reach, Trample 6/6 at the end of the day.
Yep.
And we can already know this is going to be a sealed powerhouse.
Oh, yes.
There's no question.
You see this, you're just going to snap it up because you're going to take over the game with this card alone.
And then the last green card is Garruk Unleashed. 2 and 2 green. Garruk, when one creature gets +3/+3, gains trample until end of turn. That's the plus. It starts at 4 if I didn't mention that. -2, create a 3/3 beast creature token, and if an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a loyalty counter on Garruk. So it could honestly be a -1, which that's pretty cool. On the next 7 gives you an emblem. Beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card, put it onto the battlefield, and shuffle your library. This card has been way more powerful in older Magic, man. Like, the way they have scaled up Magic in these last few sets makes this card look like a butterfly.
It really does. And this is a card that, with as wide as this format is right now, I do not think you're going to see the power of this card. But I think once this format limits itself up significantly and the majority of these cards rotate out, I do think this card is actually pretty reasonable.
I agree.
But Vivian's just better than it right now.
Yeah, no. Vivian's a house. Vivian's sweet, but Vivian is one more mana, so is it the right comparison? I don't know. That's...
like, it's similar in the idea that, like, the pluses are getting more aggressive, right? But Vivian puts counters on.
we can. There's there's 3 Vivians in the.
Oh, sorry. Yes, there are 3 Vivians.
Yeah, my apologies. I was thinking of the one I love the most.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is a 4-drop one in the format still, isn't there?
Yes.
That one's gonna be great in historic hardened skills, though.
Oh yeah.
Tell you that. Next we have a colorless artifact.
I'll let you describe it before I go on a tangent.
Yeah. This is 7 colorless legendary artifact. When you spend mana, you may spend mana as though they were mana of any color. Tap it, add 5 colorless mana, 5 and tap. Draw a card for each color among the permanents you control. All right, Mr. Tron, take it away.
So the Tron chats were like blowing up about this card. It's a 7 mana do nothing in Tron. Right? It's 7 mana to generate 5 more mana next turn, which then means you're casting one of the Eldrazi. But you're literally taking up a threat slot for it. And the draw effect will do nothing in Tron.
Look at your threats. You have Worldbreaker. You have Ulamog, Ugin, Wormcoil.
You have Thragtusk, so you can draw 1 card
Post board some. Well, I guess there's sometimes main board. Yeah, that's right. Because Burn was heavier, so it makes sense. But yeah, this card don't seem great.
No, it's
EDH bomb.
It's an EDH bomb. It might find its way into like a Bant shell if like Bant Eldrazi ever came back because it's got enough things there. Maybe I don't know, but I just don't feel that overall that it's a worthwhile card to be snagging up and trying to draw cards. So.
Yep, for sure. It does look like we had a little technical difficulties with Ray, so we'll try to eventually get him back on for sure when we get into the rares. Maybe Dewey can pull him up. Maybe he'll have better luck with him. And my phone's on because we have him through on phones right now.
What did you call him through?
Just message him and let him know that they call you when he's ready.
Okay.
He's out in the country part of where I used to live at friends, so he's probably dropping a little bit. So we'll definitely try to get him back on here. But the last mythic that we do have is Ugin the Spirit Dragon. You play Tron, you know this card. Everybody should know this card by now. I've played many copies of this card throughout my time. Legendary Planeswalker starts at 7. He costs 8. +2, bolts anything. If people don't know what that means, it's 3 damage to any target. Neg X, exile all permanents with converted mana cost X or less that are 1 or more colors. -10, you gain 7 life. Gain 7 life, draw 7 cards, and put up to 7 permanent cards from your hand. Not just the card you drew, but all in your hand onto the battlefield. This card's great. Probably one of the greatest Planeswalkers we ever had.
Yep, and we have so many ramp shells that are happening right now that this is going to slot into those decks just perfectly. They're going to be super excited to have a threat that can protect itself and win the game and draw more cards and put more permanents into play.
Like, have you ever heard of this card that's in Standard? It's not played much. It's called Nissa.
Oh, yeah.
Nissa and Ugin are going to be good friends.
Best of friends.
And they had a baby named Euro.
Are the creatures green?
They happen to be. Well, are you talking about the creatures that Nissa makes? Oh, no. I was thinking like Euro's. No, they're actually colorless because they're lands.
Okay.
Or are they? Or is this say same thing switch? I don't think it does. But lands are usually colorless. Unless it specifies otherwise.
That's what I was curious about. If it's specified into tourney. And it does not.
Okay.
Nope, it says up to 1 target non-creature land you control, untap it, it becomes a 0/0 elemental, vigilance, haste, and with the 3 counters on it. So yeah, it is not. Because I was curious about, like, man, someone's like ramping, you go Ugin, wipe the board, take out their Nissa, take out their land, you'd have a great time. But they're left behind with it. I should know that. That was relevant in one of my matches in Pioneer a while back when I was playing one of these ramp decks.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no, the so far, set looks pretty sweet. No, we just went through the mythics. We still have a ton of more cards to go through. And it looks like we're going to go over some rares now.
Yep.
And we're going to start with some mono white cards. We're going to start with white for Steven. Since he's not here, we'll be Steven at heart.
Okay.
Let's start with Bastry's Lieutenant. 3 and a white. 3/4 Human Knight, both relevant keywords. Vigilance, protection from multicolored. When this enters the battlefield, put a +1 counter on target creature you control. When this or another creature you control dies, if it had a +1 counter on it, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with Vigilance. This card seems good.
Yeah, it seems like a really solid card.
Yeah, this card seems awesome. I could also see Historic Knights playing this card.
Mm-hmm.
White aggressive decks and standard could play this card. You know, there's doesn't the 3-drop Planeswalker puts counters on your creatures.
It sure does. That's why this is Bezri's lieutenant.
Yeah. Oh, it is named Bezri, isn't it?
They work very well together.
A lot of these cards I'm learning them as we go.
No, they definitely had some thought into that to make sure they work well together, and they do. They really do work well together, making it stronger, loading up the board, and letting you get more tokens out of it. So.
Yep, I agree. The next card is one that I think should be banned in Modern.
It's just got here.
Like today. Do you remember when they banned was it Lutri or whatever before you could even hit EDH? They should do this with this card.
Nope.
It's Containment Priest, flashy 2/2. If a token were there in the battlefield, if it wasn't cast, you exile it. It's just not a fair card.
You know what? I've been excited for this reprint for Modern for a very long time. It's been a long time coming, and I think it's going to help the format a bunch.
I think it's going to hurt long term.
Why?
Because you're taking away decks that are actually so good for the format. Like you're hurting the fair decks.
Yeah, you know, the fair decks that get to go, I'm going to draw 5 cards and put 3 things into play for free.
I don't know what
And 3 bolts. Those are the fair decks we're referring to. No, overall, I'm actually really excited about this, like I said.
No, real talk, it's going to be a very good card for the format. It's really going to be nice to have some good, clean answers for the sacrifice decks in Standard.
Yep.
That was the big key that I was excited about. In addition, it's just going to be good. I made the PT Alt Dredge, and I know how annoying this card can be.
Mm-hmm.
Just so good. The fact that it has flash, so it lets you interact with them. It's a body. The upside, it's easier to interact with this card than it is with like enchantments because it is a creature. But no, the card's sweet. It's been in Legacy decks for a while.
I am very excited to see a Modern Humans player play this and violin something and mess up and lose their creature. That's one of the things I'm going to be looking forward to once Paper Magic comes back and I get to call someone out. I'm like, yep, that's gone.
Yo, I didn't even think about that.
It's a mistake they'll only make once, for sure.
Oh, you'll never make it again.
But if I can catch them with that in paper.
Has it ever happened in Legacy for you?
I don't play too much Legacy.
That's fair, that's fair.
And I've only played against humans, I think, less than 5 times.
Right. This next card is me and Steven was talking, and he's high on as well. Glorious Anthem. Oh, hold on a second, people. We're going to get Ray back. Speaker.
Ray, you here with us?
Try that again, Ray.
Yep, I got the volume turned up now.
Hello?
Hey.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute.
Yeah, this is turning out to be a kerfuffle.
Yeah, he's out in the boondocks about to meet up with some Jeepers Creepers or something.
All right, so we just covered, we finished all the mythics, and we're going through the white rares, and we just discussed Containment Priest.
And how it's going to be banned in Modern.
And how it's just going to be absolutely wonderful for the format, including everything that's now available in.
Ray, you'll agree with me that this card's unhealthy for Modern, right?
No.
This card's so busted. It's like the most busted card Modern could have.
How is this the most busted card?
You can't play the most fair deck in Dredge. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe if I played Dredge, I would have some, care.
This is fair. No, but we're on Glorious Anthem. Steven's high on this, obviously, but these cards are usually good. 1 and 2 white. Creatures you control get +1/+1. It's cool. It's Always Watching was really good when it was standard not too long ago with like the humans decks. You know, it had +1/+1, and I believe it gave them like vigilance as long as they were non-token, I believe. But no, this card's just gonna be good. It anthems your whole team for 3.
Yep.
Does what you wanted to do in a white aggressive deck.
Yeah.
Again, could fit pretty well with what Bastry's trying to do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they reprinted it just for them.
Yep. So card's awesome. Then we have Idol of Endurance.
Yep.
2 and a white. Artifact where there's a battlefield. Exile creatures with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard until this leaves the battlefield. It has an ability where you pay 1 and a white and tap it. Till end of turn, you can cast a creature spell from among those cards you exiled without paying its mana cost. Card's cool.
I'm like, so it's not selling very well right now. The pre-sales are only like 60 cents or something like that, or 50 cents. I actually think this is a pretty reasonable sideboard card.
Yeah.
Going against the any of the control shells,
Oh,
you
yeah,
need
for
to go
board
late.
wipes, yeah.
They board wipe you. This basically becomes the turn you cast it. It's a 5-drop to cast anything from your graveyard, and then every other turn it's recast everything from your graveyard that's a creature for 2.
Yeah, that's true. And then you start bringing 3 drops back, and you're up value. Yes, and you're already up value because you got to pretty much cast the same spell twice, like for less mana. You know, it's just a really good card. Like I said, I think it would actually be better when you're getting board wiped and things like that. Probably wouldn't play in main board, but
no, I don't think I'd have it in the main, but I definitely could see a couple of these in the side, depending on where the format shakes up. If I need to go to grindier games, deal with control, I'm 100% slotting this in.
Yep, I agree. This next card is some flavor, if you ask me. Like, I know Ray would be a fan of this card right when I saw it, and it's 9 lives. He does love himself some kitties. It's a 1 and 2 white enchantment. It has hexproof. If a sorcerer deal damage to you, prevent that damage and put an incarnation counter on 9 lives. Whenever there are 9 or more incarnation counters on 9 lives, exile it. When it leaves the battlefield, you lose the game. You know, it's pretty simple. People have some thoughts about what is that card, Solemnity?
Solemnity, yep.
Yeah, you know, obviously, people have the pipe dream to never die.
I'm actually more excited about the all the fan art that was floating around with this. Ray, did you see any of those?
Wait, say it one more time, sorry?
All the fan art that they were running around with for this card?
Oh, no. I would imagine I'm a huge fan of it, though.
People were using their cats. They were editing in their cats for the photos. It was great.
That's all.
This is where Magic is taking us. Wow.
I'm going to put it just to put it in the picture.
And that card's cool, right? But now we have a good card.
Yeah?
This is called Pack Leader. 1 and a white, creature dog. All other dogs get +1/+1. Whenever this attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs you control. And it's a 2/2. This is a magic card right here.
Oh, yeah.
This is a card. It's strong, and look at the art. It looks like a true leader. It doesn't look like that last card where it's like, it's just a random cat. This is a dog that's leading his crew to victory.
Like, I appreciate the little cat and dog theme that they have going on in this set.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
It's very enjoyable. This is a good lord. I mean, a 2-mana lord is pretty sweet.
And they did change some types from previous cards that weren't actual dogs. Like hounds are considered dogs now.
Oh, really?
And so forth, yeah. I saw that, which I thought that's actually very cool.
I kind of wish that said dogs and wolves or something like that.
Yeah, but that'd be a little strong with wolves, I think.
It would be. It would be.
Because you could do green, white dogs wolves in this format probably because you got Wild War Preserver, not Wild War Preserver, but Nightpack Gambusher if they did that.
And that's my thing. Like, I kind of wanted to have a little extra push just because
That'd be
by
cool.
itself, I don't know if it's going to be able to stand.
Yeah, constructed. Yeah, I think even in EDH it's kind of hard to construct an actual good dog.
You'd have to use changelings.
Yeah.
A whole lot of changelings.
It's a cool card though. That's about all it is.
Yeah, if it gets more support, it's a solid lord to improve everything.
I agree. The next card to reprint, it's 2 white, literal double white. Enchantment, Rune Halo. Enters a battlefield, choose a card name, you get protection for that chosen card name. Card was really good. Like, I've had it play against me plenty of times when I play Burn in Modern. Very common habit, especially like when I'm playing the Prowess builds. They're like, all right, name Soulscar Mage. Now things are a little awkward, like,
Yep.
but
I don't think there's been any format where this was printed that it didn't see some sideboard plays.
yeah, I've seen it sometimes main board, but majority of the time it's been sideboard. Ray's obviously played this card at least once in his life.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good reprint. It'll be good for standard. The more and more we do these spoilers, it makes me think they really don't want to see mono red ever again.
I mean, you got some stuff coming up, you know.
Yeah, we'll see.
You got a couple things. It's okay.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't really like mono red anyway. Kill that deck archetype, I guess. Speaker of the Heavens is the last white rare. It's 1 white, 1/1 Vigilance Lifelink. You can tap it, create a 4/4 Angel token with flying. Activate this ability only if you have at least 7 life more than your starting life total. And anytime you can cast a sorcery, you really need a lot of help to make this happen. At the end of the day, this is another 1 drop for like a white weenie deck.
Yeah, the Soul Sisters community is actually pretty hyped on this card.
That makes sense.
Yeah, because, you know, you can just crack Martyr Sands and have the necessary life to get this going right away.
That makes sense for that form. I was talking to some standard in particular.
No, in standard, I don't think this is going to go anywhere.
No, but like the Soul Sister and Martyr deck, I could definitely see this being a primetime player.
Yeah, you run this out on turn 1, turn 2, you run out Martyr, crack it, and now you're getting 4/4s every turn.
Yep. Yeah, no, that just seems really good. Now we're going to jump on to some blue cards. This is where Ray excels. He loves him some blue.
Best cards in the game.
Yeah, that's what they say, right? Baron Talarian Archmage, 1 and 2 blue, human wizard legendary creature. When this enters the battlefield, return up to 1 other target creature or planeswalker to its owner's hand. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent was put into your hand from the battlefield this turn, draw a card. And it's a 2/2. Card's interesting. It doesn't seem very good to me personally, but I could be wrong. I don't know. Nothing is like screaming out to me like prime time player.
Yeah. Ray, you think this is a good value card that might get some legs?
Oh, I 100% think so. Venture was very playable when it was relevant in every format that it was, I guess, played in, between Standard, Legacy, Block, Constructed, Extended. And I think that Baron's definitely going to fit in there.
Even without the flash?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Like I said, I could be wrong. Like you, yeah, obviously I know a little more about those like bounce style creature effects. I didn't know Flash was enough for it to like not give it as many legs, but yeah, bouncing.
Think about it this way, like, how good was Reflector Mage? Like, clearly, you know, having the ability to not be able to play the spell again with huge benefit, but like, you know, I can see Mana Wars that have a relevant creature ability and power and toughness being very playable.
Yeah, it's a good tempo play at the end of the day. I know.
It is.
Like Reflector Mage, like you said, obviously did have that secondary ability, but just interrupting your curve and stuff like that. Like they saying you got to spend your turn to get this established onto the board can actually be a big hit.
Yeah, and the fact that this does get the ability to do it to yourself, to get some value there, I think that is nice. It's just an upgraded version of the other bounce effects we've dealt with. So.
Yep. Next we have Ghostly, what is it? How's that pronounced?
Pilfer.
Pilfer. 1 in a blue, Spirit Rogue, 2/1. Whenever this becomes untapped, you may pay 2 if you do draw a card. When an opponent casts a spell from anywhere other than their hand, draw a card. We could discard a card and it can't be blocked. It's a spirit. There's actual, what was it? With like Kira the Spirit, the Gray Glass Spinner and stuff is coming into it along with Rattle Chains and Jumpstart. That this could be actual a historic card for sure. Standard wise, it might be able to be in like some like mono blue style deck. It's possible. Card has a lot of abilities. It probably might be able to see some Pioneer Spiritualists.
Yeah, I think Pioneer Spirits could be playing this. I don't think it's good enough for Modern Spirits.
No, I don't think so either. But no, I do. The card's cool. I definitely see it in Historic. Standard's a little on borderline because I'm thinking only maybe like the mono blue deck, but even then, because you really want to pay 2 mana outright. That's where I'm on.
Yeah, the only thing I'm thinking about is if there are any decks that need to have a discard engine, because this does fulfill that role for the format as being a discard engine.
Is Phoenix ever relevant to be able to do this?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I can really think of. No, I don't think the card's bad by any means.
I think this card will find a home. It just might not necessarily be the home that people are thinking about currently.
Yeah, for sure. We also have Pursued Whale. This card kind of made me laugh when I saw it, but it's 5 and 2 blue creature type. Surprise whale. Enters the battlefield. Each opponent creates a 1/1 red pirate creature token with the ability this creature can't block, and creatures you control attack each combat if able. Spirits your opponent's cast that target the whale cost 3 more to cast, and it's an 8/8. It's a funny card.
I think this will see play maybe in limited if you've got the right deck for it.
It'll definitely be in limited. It's an 8/8.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's also 7 mana. That's pretty expensive.
That's just the bomb. Yeah. It's a bomb. It's giving your opponents a few creatures is a little downside, but
Just one creature. Oh yeah, just one creature.
Oh, it only makes one? I thought it said create 3 for some reason.
Yeah, each opponent creates 1.
Okay. No, this card in limited seems awesome because you're making them swing all their creatures, and the whale just eats any creatures that they have to swing. You probably just let them keep their 1/1 so they have to keep swinging, and you can start actually taking down their relevant creatures that way. Which that's actually very good.
Yeah. And this will be a pretty good card for EDH.
Yeah, and it's hard to remove. I don't see it being played in Constructed, though.
No.
I can't imagine it being played in Constructed. I can't see it. I don't know, Ray, you going to play some on Whale in your control decks?
Most likely not.
Okay.
So you're saying the line of going Euro into Baneslayer Angel into a Pursued Whale is not reasonable. Just think about this here. Just stick with me for a second.
Hold on.
They are swinging into my BSA, so I get to take it down with First Strike Lifelink.
When you pitch it that way, I might be sold.
I don't know. Andrew does say he's the unreasonable one. This next card I'm very high on with some Snapcasters and stuff personally. See the Truth, 1 in a blue. Sorcery, look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put 1 of those into your hand and the rest in the bottom. However, if this spell was cast from anywhere other than your hand, you put all 3 cards in your hand. Like I said, we saw this and I was like, yo, you doing with this with like Snapcasters and stuff like that. You get to pay 2 mana, draw 3 cards. Not the worst thing in the world.
No, for sure. This is getting slotted into a lot of decks would be willing to pay 2 mana to look at the top 3 and put 1 in their hand anyway. In a normal standard format, having the upside if you can manage to get it cast is going to be huge. When you combine it with the ideas in the other formats where you're doing it with Snapcaster or maybe doing Past in Flames for Storm and you're just drawing 3 cards for 2,
yeah. Oh yeah, see, Storm is another deck. Yeah, it's just the card's just good. Like, I really like this card.
Is there any way to get that second part of this ability in Standard?
What do we have here? Is there any... I don't know if there is any way.
Right, you've got
Missions Briefing.
Missions Briefing?
Missions Briefing. I think that's the only way.
Or Chandra, I guess, because Chandra exiles it.
Yeah, but
it's getting dodgy, guys. I don't know what's happening.
You said what?
I said it's getting dodgy out here, so...
Okay.
No problem, my friend. Yeah, before, in case you lose connection, what do you think about See the Truth?
I think that it's good. I think that accumulative knowledge seeing a lot of play. Anticipate seeing a lot of play. This is somewhat a better upgrade to it. So I think that it's definitely worth exploring.
Yeah.
I know all my blue control decks are going to start with at least 3 copies of it and then, go up or down depending on how it tests.
Makes sense.
Can you think of any way that we get to utilize that second ability in Standard outside of, like, Missions Briefing and, like, Chandra, for example? Still there, Ray?
I think we might be losing them.
Yeah, I think we might be. But we're going to go on to the next card. We have Shacklegeist, 1 in a blue. Spirit, 2/2. Flying can block only creatures with flying. Tap 2 untap spirits you control. Tap a target creature you don't control. This card's cool. Like I said, I'm very high. Spirits could actually might be a thing in Historic based on these two sets that are going to be coming aligned with each other. The block thing is cool, you know. Tap 2 untap spirits you control, and you get to tap a target creature you don't control is really good. This might be able to get another card that might get some play in the Pioneer Spirits list.
Yep.
Cards. I like the card a lot, though.
Yeah, it just seems like overall solid. I mean, 2 mana, 2/2 flyer is already awesome. And then having the upsides from there is just cool.
Yeah. And then we have Stormwing Entity, 3 and 2 blue. Elemental. This spell costs 2 and a blue less to cast if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Flying Prowess, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Sweet card, a little expensive. Can't see. I probably won't see. Oh, I guess it could actually. Might be able to see standard because it does cost 3 less, so it's possible. Card's really cool though.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to going opt into this on turn 3. At all.
Yeah.
So.
Sublime Epiphany, 4 and 2 blue. I actually like this card a lot. It's an instant. It has some modes on it. You can choose one mode or all the modes if you want. You can choose one or more is what it says. Counter target spell, counter target activated or triggered ability, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, create a token that's a copy of a target creature you control, and target player draws a card. I like this card.
You know what my biggest disappointment about this card? I thought we were getting a cycle.
Oh, yeah.
That is my absolute biggest
Yeah,
disappointment. I love this card. I think it's great.
Yeah, this card's awesome.
I was expecting a full cycle.
That's fair. Yeah, it was very disheartening that they did.
Yeah.
It was kind of like when Euro and Croxa got announced, and they didn't do a cycle complete.
And they even talked about that, right? They said that there was a plan, but they just didn't go forward with it. I was like, okay, way to tease us.
Yeah, because it was a cool. I love Euro and Crox's like concept. I want to do a cycle of all the colors.
Yep.
You know.
And I mean, they do it for a living. It wouldn't have been hard to create a cycle. So.
Exactly. Teferi's Ageless Insight, 2 and 2 blue, legendary enchantment. If you would draw a card except for the first one in each of your draw steps, draw 2 cards instead. Historically, these cards are pretty cool. It's going to be great in EDH. They don't get a super lot of play in Standard usually.
No, and I'm looking at this card that at most, I could see this being a one-of. Like, the ability for you to do this with Teferi in play and draw 2 cards from his effect is kind of nuts, but I would only ever play one, because I'd never want to see another one, and it would make me cry if I did.
Yeah, it'd just be such a waste. However, with the new Teferi, you can
get to discard.
Yeah, you get to discard it.
Yep, you get to
so there is that benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So these are cards that are... So it's possible, but do you really want to play 4 drops in that Teferi along with this? That's the...
No, and that's why I said I would only really play one.
Yeah. It'd be a cool little card, but we wouldn't care if we didn't have it.
Maybe once things rotate, you want to put up a different shell and you want to go that route, that would be okay. But as the meta stands right now, I would have a hard time playing it.
I agree. Now we're going to move on to some black cards. Mm-hmm. Demonic Embrace. I like this card a lot in like the Aura decks that's going around right now.
Yep.
It's a 1 and 2 black. Enchant creature, because it's an aura. Enchant creature gets +3/+1 and has flying, and it's a demon in addition to its other types. Bane Slayer. Don't hit the board on us. You may cast this from your graveyard by paying 3 life and discarding a card in addition to paying its other cost. This card's good.
It's a really solid card.
Yeah.
Once again, big disappointment here. I thought we were going to get a bunch of cards with that effect.
That's fair, but you know, can't always get what you want, but no, the card in general is going to be really cool. Like I said, the aura, Hateful Eidolon is like looking at this, licking its chops. Mm-hmm. Any of the mono white ones that easily can turn into black white, like
no, this is going to see play.
Great. Like,
and it's and being in those decks too, it's
and Pioneer was already doing black white auras. Mm-hmm. This is easy to be in that list.
Yep.
Historic too. Historic can put this, and we could do like blue black auras because in Historic we have Curiosity and Curious Succession. Now we have this. Yep. Like we'd be like, we're gonna draw a bunch of cards. We discard this to go to hand size, and then we could cast it whenever we want. Like.
No, just overall, this is going to be a solid card. It's going to be a notable player in 3 formats, maybe two formats.
Yep. Then we have Hooded Blightfang. 2 in the black. Snake, 1/4 death touch. When a creature you control with death touch attacks, each opponent loses 1 and you gain 1. When a creature you control with death touch deals damage to a planeswalker, it destroys that planeswalker. Card's cool, but I don't see it being much played. It takes a lot of build around.
And there's not enough death touch support.
It's going to be awesome in Limited. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah.
Because in Limited, you really don't want to be blocking death touch creatures or anything. And then it has a secondary building. So that's cool. The next card is really cool because it actually interacts with the cat combo really well.
Mm-hmm.
When I say cat combo, I mean Cauldron Familiar and Witch's Oven, because with cat combo, people immediately think about Feldar Guardian.
Yep.
But no, this is, what is it, Karavik?
Yeah, Karavik the Spiteful.
Yep, 2 and 2 black. Legendary creature, human warlock. It's a 3/2. Its ability is other creatures get -1/-1. How that works is you'll never have a chance to sack the cat to the Cauldron Familiar because of how that stat works.
Yeah, the static ability will come into effect, and state-based actions will make that creature go to the graveyard before you ever have a chance to it.
Yep. And I do like how they're answering. They didn't ban the oven or anything. Instead, they made quality answers.
Yeah, you have this and you have Containment Breach.
Yep. So that's a really cool card. I think that card's going to be a player going forward for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lily the Standard Bearer. 2 in the black. Flash Zombie Knight. When this enters the battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. 3/1. That card's cool. You know, really good sideboard card for board wipes. You board wipe me, I'm like, alright, I'm going to go and I'm just going to draw these cards.
Yeah, and debatably, this might even get slotted into the current mono black list in the main. If people feel that this is better than the current 3/1 flasher, just because this that one, the Lancer, the Paragon Lancer, right?
Yep, the one that 3/1 gives target knight Death Touch or Lifelink.
Yeah,
Death Touch and Lifelink. Yeah.
Yeah, if they felt that the increased cost was worth it for a meta that's getting clogged up, I could see them slotting into this just so they can draw additional cards.
Yep. Necromentia is the next one. It's 1 and 2. It looks like we're gonna get a Lost Legacy style effect stay in the format. This one does the same. You choose a card name other than a basic land. You search your opponent's graveyard, hand, and library for any number of those, and exile them. That player shuffles their library. Unlike how Unmoored Eagle would let them draw the cards to replace it, instead of drawing cards, they get to put 2/2 black zombie creature for each card exiled out of their hand.
Yeah.
So that's actually way better because drawing cards is always going to be so much more powerful than getting some basic 2/2s.
Yep.
And so I really like this design. They still get something, so it's not pure. Because I hate the whole card drawback. Because these cards are traditionally they're fine, like slaughter games and stuff like that. Because it's actually card advantage. Like the biggest benefit is saying, okay, I duressed you. I took the notes on what was in your hand. Now I can play this on turn 3 and get some advantage.
Yep.
And now when they have these ones that lets it keep replacing because it wasn't doing anything. Yeah, they get 2/2s. But usually when you're playing these kind of cards, you're in a deck that can actually deal with some 2/2s.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like this card and Massacre Worm, for example, in the same deck.
I would be very excited to do that chain.
Yes. Come on, well, why not?
And maybe have Liliana in this build and have a mono black control shell.
Yeah. This is a good card right here. It's going to be a great sideboard card. I don't imagine it being main board ever, but I've seen them play the main boards before.
Yeah, I would be much happier casting this over Unmoored Eagle.
I 100% agree. And it's easier on your mana. You don't have to be dedicated to 2 colors. Peer into the Abyss, 4 and 3 black. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library and loses half of their life, rounded up each time. No.
Yeah, that's not getting played in anything except EDH.
Yeah, it will be an EDH card. That's about all I can say about that. Thieves Guild Enforcer, 1 black, 1/1 flash. Whenever this or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards. As long as the opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, this gets +2/+1 and Death Touch.
I'm very excited for this card.
Card's cool.
Yeah, I think it's going to get slotted into the blue-black flash deck perfectly.
Yep. Yeah, it definitely does. It's another flashy threat that can draw cards because it draws off of the nice little card, and it mills them, I don't know if that, but a lot of decks do self-mill these days, so it can always get turned on.
I mean, you'd be excited
with that touch. A 1/1 with that touch that can easily be like, go take that.
Mm-hmm.
So this next card's cool for mainly historic because we have Exquisite Blood, and that is Vito on Thorn of the Dusk Rose, 2 and a black, Vampire Cleric, 1/3. Whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. Activated ability, I should say, is 3 and 2 black. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn.
Mm-hmm.
And for those who don't know, Exquisite Blood, when you do this, it pretty much does an infinite thing until they hit 0 life, because this one says whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life. That one says when your opponent loses life, you gain life.
Yep.
So they bounce off each other, and once it goes until your opponent's life total hits 0, and then they're no longer in the game.
Yeah. It should see play in that very specific scenario, and then obviously EDH players are eating this up.
Yep. This also, you can, what I was thinking about this is a Vampire Cleric.
Mm-hmm.
You could play this in the mono black vampires in Historic with Explicit Blood in there, so you have a combo along with your very aggressive deck.
Oh, that's actually pretty reasonable then.
Yeah.
That's the issue I was having, was like, what shell would this go under? And that would work.
Yep, I really like that idea. Like, I'm very intrigued to try those out. And at the end of the day, it's a 1/3 creature that giving your vampire's lifelink isn't the worst, because you got Thrawn in that format that's coming out too.
Yeah, well, I can dig it. I was not, until you point out that it can the shell it can go into is a pretty reasonable shell. It wasn't as hype, but yeah, no, this is good.
Yep. Next is the red cards are starting up. It's Brash Taunter, 4 and a red, Goblin, Indestructible, 1/1. When it is dealt damage, it deals that much damage to target opponent. 2 in a red, it fights another target creature. This is a weird card.
Yeah, it's a variant of Stuffy Doll.
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of being a 5-drop 0/1 or whatever Stuffy Doll was, and then indestructible and it can ping, this is now fighting. I love that it's fighting another creature. You want to drop a big threat against me, giant giant whale.
Yeah.
I can go ahead and just clog this up, and you can make you take that much damage.
Yeah, no, the card's cool.
It's going to be great in limited. I don't know if it'll be good in anything else. They might find some kind of combo deck, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. The next couple cards are actually ones that are very high in Eternal form, like older formats like Modern and so forth. This one's actually very big talks in Modern Burn right now, and that's Chandra's Incinerator. 5 in a red, 6/6. Stay with me. I know I said Modern Bird when I said 5 in a red, but there's reasons for it. The spell costs X less to cast, where X is the total amount of non-combat damage dealt to your opponents this turn. It has Trample. Whenever a source you control will deal non-combat damage to opponent, the Incinerator deals that much damage to target creature or planeswalker that player controls. So here's the scenario everybody's talking about right now. Turn 1, Rift Bolt. Turn 2, Rift Bolt comes off suspend. Hits him for 3. You Lightning Bolt. Just play Chandra's Incinerator.
Yep. It's a very reasonable goal to have on turn 2. And even if you had to wait till turn 3, going Bolt is also fine.
Yeah. And so, not even that, you also have Rift Bolt or Seal of Fire.
Yes.
Like, decks are still doing that. So, Chandra's Incinerator, I do see it being slotted in the Modern Bird. Will it be a 4 of? Probably, honestly, if they're trying to honestly get this on turn 2 consistently.
Yeah, no, I think this is a card that you're either 4 of or 0.
Exactly.
There's no in between, because you have to dedicate. Rift Bolt's fine, but Seal of Fire is generally a downgrade.
Exactly.
Unless you're doing things to, deal with the fact
if I'm
that
playing Seal of Fire, I better be trying to pay off.
I agree. And the fact that you have a 6/6, and now you can keep doming them with your spells and then taking out their threats on board while you have a 6/6 swinging.
And then you get to, and this has Trample.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. Trample is so relevant that you can mess up combat mass so well with it.
Wasn't someone just complaining about the fact that that Wizards didn't want them to play red cards anymore? So who said that?
Okay, I didn't say they didn't want them to play red cards. It's like they didn't want red in standard.
Oh!
Specifically. Nothing has changed. None of that has changed.
You don't think we can cast this in standard?
It's going to be hard.
Yeah, I'll cast it on turn 6.
You got me, buddy. You got me. You got me.
No, I mean, what about a Gruul shell?
It's possible, actually. But they don't do a super lot of non-combat damage, though.
That's fair.
Like they don't. All their stuff is combat. Like they might play. They play Bone Crusher, but is that enough to really justify it?
What
like
about the green red god?
the green red god. That's true. That would actually be a way. I guess you could do that. Play
do that in
between
turn
that
3.
and Bone Crusher Giants might be enough.
You play the green red god on turn 3.
Mm-hmm.
Turn 4, you have 4 mana. Shoot them for 2. This costs 2 less. Drop this.
That's true. That could be possible.
Yep.
Yeah, I would definitely not want to write it off for sure.
Yeah.
The next card is very high in goblins. It's what is that? What is that?
Conspicuous Snoop.
Conspicuous Snoop. 2 double red. Play with the top card of your library reveal. You may cast goblins from the top of your library. As long as the top card of your library is a goblin, this card can use its activate abilities of that card. So the big talk, Kiki Jiki.
Yep.
Kiki Jiki's on the top of your library. You have this in play. You get to go nuts.
Yep. And the Kiki Jiki in particular generally prevented itself because you had to copy a non-legendary creature. But because this card itself is non-legendary, it can copy itself.
Yes.
And people, like you said, they're pretty hype on this card for both modern and legacy goblins because it's a pretty easy slot in, and it gives you infinite ETBs, infinite damage if you put a Mog Fanatic on top, infinite life loss if you put Sling Gang Commander on top.
Yep.
And you have infinite mana for the things that sack it. Like, there's just a lot of potential here for you to go different routes. And it is not a hard slot in because you can just put a 1 of Kiki Jiki in the deck, and then you can put this in the deck as well.
And then back to the historic format. You play this, and you can use some Kranko's abilities off the top. Mm-hmm. We now have Chieftain that's going to be in that format because that's in Jumpstart that gives all your goblins haste.
Yeah.
So you're just instantly making value. You'd be like, tap, make a bunch of hasty goblins.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. Yeah, I think this card's definitely going to be a player.
Yep, no, I agree.
I'm shocked that it's not at least $10, to be honest.
It's because it's a rare.
Yeah, that's fair. The next card is Double Vision, 3 and 2 red. Enchantment, whenever you cast your first instant sorcery, spell, copy it. And you can choose new targets. You know, simple, doubling your spell's ability.
Yeah.
It's an enchantment. My mindset, if you're paying 5, why not? Why aren't you just playing 1,000-Year Storm?
Yeah, no, this is bulk rare all over it, unless it seems to fit in a better slot. But as you said, 1,000-Year Storm already seems better.
Yep. Gadrick, the Crown Scourge, 2 in a red, legendary dragon, flying. When it cannot attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. Begin your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. Card's cool. Seems like sealed in bulk rare.
Yeah, I just have a hard time seeing this get any kind of play.
In standard, at least.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong, 5/4 for 3, pretty good. But what artifacts can we justifiably play to get this online on turn 3?
It's not like we
or
have,
turn 4.
It's not like we have a 1 mana artifact that lets us draw a card and then have any mana available in standard, you know?
No, but it's just this card's good, but I think it would take a lot of build around, and it might be a little too difficult.
Yeah, we would need an artifact set to really support this kind of card. Because if it was 2 artifacts or 3 artifacts, it'd even be more reasonable, obviously. But 4 is a lot to be asking.
Yeah, so it's gonna be hard to get this online. Mm-hmm. I couldn't tell you, but could be wrong, but we'll see.
Yep.
The next one is Sabria, Tolzidi Caravaner.
Yep.
2 in a red, Human Shaman, 2/3 haste. You can pay 1, another target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked. 1 in red, tap, discard your hand until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. Card's cool, card seems fine. I don't know if it's better than, it's not better than the 3-drops in red already, and Annex, Bone Crusher Giants, things like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't imagine it getting played, to be honest. No. At least in the mono red decks, I think they just have better options.
Nope, I agree. The only thing I can think of that this would get slotted into is potentially a humans build, but even there, I don't think it's worth it. It's uncurve a worse creature, and then discarding your hand to get the ability to potentially draw a card. You might not be there because a lot of your humans are getting pumped up, so they are going to be greater than 2.
Yep. So, the next one is Transmogrify.
Yeah. Weird name.
3 in a red, sorcery, exile target creature. That creature Controller reveals the top card of their library until they reveal a creature. That player puts that card onto the battlefield and shuffles the rest of their library. It's kind of like Chaos Morph, I believe it. Yeah, Chaos Morph.
I think closer to color shifted polymorph.
Okay. Yep. But similar things. This one is saying that you exile a creature and you get to roll the dice.
Yep.
Could be good, could be bad for you. Who knows? Sometimes you do it for yourself, you know. It could be a very real strategy.
No, that would definitely be if this were to see play, you're definitely building this around a shell where you're putting a token into play, and we're going to
You're pretty much doing what Luca was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. Maybe like a Jeskai tokens with like Dream Trawlers.
Yeah.
I've seen them vaguely doing that with Luca, and they were back to the Jeskai Luca style with Yorion. And instead of the whole Age of the Treachery BS that they were doing, they decide, hey, we're going to just put Dream Trawler and hopefully that's good enough.
Yeah.
Volcanic Savo, 10 and 2 red, costs X less to cast or X is a total number of power of creatures you control. This deals 6 damage to each to up to 2 target creatures and or planeswalkers. This is not a good card. Like, that's just too much that they're asking.
No.
Like, if it was 6 damage to each up to 2 targets, then sure, but it's a 12 drop, that conditional 12 drop that could be less, that you are putting a lot of hope, because if you draw with no board state, let's say, and you just draw this, you're just looking silly.
No, the other way this was going to be playable is if you were able to hit players.
Yeah.
If you can hit up to 2 targets with either a mix of creatures, planeswalkers, or players, this might see play, but at this rate, no. It's just going to be a glorified, expensive spell that's just going to end up in your bulk box.
Yep, I agree. And then the first green card we have is a reprint. It's a Zuza, Lost But Seeking. 2 in the green, 1/2. You may play 2 additional lands this turn. It's a legendary human monk, very known for Amulet. It was just a good reprint to have, you know.
Yeah, brings the price down. It might very well end up in a green deck if you want to play additional lands, but as it stands, I feel like you're better off just casting actual ramp spells instead.
Yeah. Like, I don't see it being played in standard. Maybe other formats. So obviously modern.
Yeah.
Feline Sovereign, 2 in a green. It's a cat. Other cats get +1/+1 and have protection from dogs, which that's funny, honestly, in my opinion. But when one or more cats you control deal combat damage to a player, destroy up to 1 target artifact or enchantment that player controls.
So I like how they made the pack leader, the dog, cost 1/1. And they made this cost 2/1. So they make cats more expensive, which is true because I find cats to be more expensive in general.
That's fair.
I do like that the effect. It seems pretty relevant. The one that's destroying artifacts or enchantments,
Yep.
which also plays great into cats because cats knock over your stuff and break it.
Yep.
So
Good flavor. Good flavor. And then I love you see the flavor text. Dogs beg, cats lay claim.
Yeah.
I like it. Next we have Garuk's Harbinger, 1 and 2 green, beast, 4/3, hexproof from black. Whenever this deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, look at that many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature card or a Garuk planeswalker and put them into your hand. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. Pretty good against like black removal style decks. It doesn't have protection, so it doesn't get like free blocks and stuff, free attacks against black creatures. But I think the cards are a little good. See, it's a good sideboard card from like Gruul and mono green style decks.
I can see this going into maybe not necessarily right now, just because they have a lot of options right now for the 3 slot, but. When things rotate, this is going to be a solid card. Being able to replace itself, fill up your hand, and keep pressuring the board.
I do see it currently in the sideboard for black removal style decks, so
that's fair.
Like it'd probably be pretty good against Sultai, things like that. Next, we have a card that's really good out of the sideboards for green style decks. Is Heroic Intervention, reprint 1 in a green. Permanents you control gain hexproof and indestructible until end of turn. Card's just good.
Yeah. This is just a solid reprint. Green decks are very happy about this.
Yeah.
It's a fixed version of the card that got banned.
It was creeping up. It was creeping up in price. It was a good reprint.
Yep.
Joel Rael. What is this?
Luvanuli Recluse.
Alright, 1 in the green. Legendary Human Druid 1/2. When you draw a card, your second card each turn creates a 2/2 green cat creature token. 4 and 2 green. Until end of turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness XX, or X is the number of cards in hand.
Off the bat, I just want to point out, this just feels like a color shifted blue card.
Yeah, it really does. Like, because it's saying draw cards. Like,
it's about drawing cards to get additional creatures, which feels very blue, and the power effect is based off the amount of cards in your hand, which is also feels very blue.
Yeah, it's like they put the wrong color on this card.
Yeah.
No, the card's cool though. Like, it might be good in the cat decks. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It seems like you want to, but it's just like I said, it's so weird what it does.
Yep. Nope. I agree.
Next we have Primal Might. X in a green. Target creature gets +X until end turn, and then fights up to one target creature you don't control. Card's cool. It's a sorcery. Does what you want it to do. It might be good in the ramp decks.
Yeah, I think this just ends up being the way I see this game played is that it's just green's removal spell. For this era.
Yeah, I think this is a better mono green card.
Mm-hmm.
That does mono green typically don't have removal.
Yep.
And this one's just a good X spell that it just lets you generate a bunch of mana, and you'd be like, hey, I'll just do this.
Yep. No, I would be pretty happy following this up with the 5-drop. I have a 6/6 Vigilance, Reach, Trample in play. I use this, take out one of my opponent's creatures, swinging for a good hit, and then I've either drawn a card or grabbed another creature in play, and I'm just overall happy.
Yep. Next we have Scavenging Ooze. This is a fantastic reprint, another card that hates on the sacrifice builds. That's why I think they didn't X anything from it. 2/2. You can pay a green, exile a creature card from a graveyard. If it was exile a card from any graveyard. If it was a creature card, you get to put a +1 counter and gain 1 life. And it's a 1 in a green, if I didn't mention that. Great reprint. Yep. Card's always good. Played in any format that it's live in. Pioneer, Modern. Now it's going to be Standard again.
Yep.
It's going to be in Historic as well. This card's awesome.
Yeah, no,
that's all I need to say.
It's just a great card. It's well made. It does exactly what it needs to do, and it's very efficient at it.
Yep. We have not a reprint. This is Spore Web Weaver, 2 in a green, Spider, Reach, Hexproof from blue. When this is dealt damage, you gain 1 life and create a 1/1 green Sapperling creature token. And it's a 1/4, so that's actually really good. Being able to just block your 2 or 1 power, or 3 power guys unconditionally, and you gain a life, and you get to create some more blockers. The card's awesome.
Yeah, no.
I like this card a lot.
It's a solid sideboard card. It needs the right format to be slotted into it. But no, it's a great card.
Yeah, no, I'm very high on this card. Mazemind Tome is the first artifact that we have for rares. It's 2, put a page counter on it when you tap it, scry 1. You can pay 2 and tap it, put a page counter on this, draw a card. When there are 4 or more page counters on this, exile it. If you do, gain 4 life. Alright, that's a pretty interesting card. I don't know if it would ever get played, but it's sealed. It seems great for sealed. I definitely wouldn't want to open it as my rare personally, but...
No, I wouldn't be happy about opening it, but I would. There's a good chance that I end up playing it just for the extra draw value and scry value.
Yep, I agree. Then Solemn is making his return. He's a 4-drop artifact golem, 2/2. There's a battlefield. You get to search for a basic land, put it on a battlefield tapped, then shuffle. When it dies, you get to draw a card. Seems pretty good for Yorion, ramp style decks. You can keep doing it. It's going to be good for the ramp decks in general. Does what you want it to do. It blocks and you draw a card.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy with this. I love the fact that the art of this, though, because everybody usually enjoys this card whenever it's printed. Mm-hmm. The art for this card has changed so drastically. He went from this sad boy, right, to not sad, and now he wants to assimilate and take over the world. He looks like he's about to take on the world as Ultron.
He looks like he's straight up Transformers.
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
He's got the music playing in the background. He's about to take someone out, but the green decks are very happy to have this.
I agree. Spark Hunter Masticore, 3 generic. This will cast a costless spell, discard a card, protection from planeswalkers, hot to fury. Pay 1, deals 1 damage to target planeswalker. Again, hot to fury. Pay 3, gains indestructible until end of turn, 3/4.
Yeah, no, it seems fine, honestly. If that's the route you want to go and you needed to have something to deal with planeswalkers and take them out. But overall, I feel like the cost is really high.
Yeah.
Having to discard a card. Obviously, this is on a line of massacres, but yeah, it seems okay.
Yep, I agree. The first multicolored card is Nyambi, Esteemed Speaker. It's a blue and a white. Human Cleric Legendary, Flash 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, you may return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. If you do, gain life equal to that creature's converted mana costs. 1 blue-white, tap, discard a legendary card, draw 2 cards. Card's cool. I actually could see this in Kethis combo.
Yep, that's exactly where I was at with it too. It's really the only way I could see it being really played, but...
And that's not standard. That's like historic or pioneer, or modern. But yeah, I see this in Kethis combo though. Like this card seems really what you want to do. Discarding a legendary card and just drawing 2 cards seems awesome for what they're trying to do. Like I'm in. They got me sold. Yeah. I don't see humans. I can't see this being played in. I guess it's a build. It's enter the battlefield trigger is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you could do some kind of value stuff. I'm curious if there's like an Esper build where this is reasonable, because you've got a bunch of legendary things. You have to discard it, like Oath, but like I don't even know if that's worth it. Usually you're just okay with keeping it because you want to just shoot something rather than drawing 2 cards, but maybe there's...
You can blink it with Yorion. It comes back and puts Yorion back in your hand so you can keep that train going.
I do like that, but I feel like the Prince is just better.
Yeah, I agree. Radha, Heart of Keld, 1 green red. Legendary Elf Warrior, 3/3. As long as it's your turn, it has first strike. You may look at the top card of your library anytime and play lands from the top of your library. 4 red green. It gets +X/+X, where X is the number of lands you control. I like this card. This is a card that I could actually see some ground in personally.
Yeah, and this works really well with Azusa. You know, you get to play... You can just run through the chain of cards on top of your deck if you have all lands with Azusa in this. And then you can pump your whole board and swing in.
Yep. It only gives +X/+X to him.
Oh, much more disappointed now. But if I want to play lands, I'm probably still playing this with Azusa.
Yeah. Card's cool. Don't know where it's going to be yet, but I do like the card. We'll just jump forward. There's a cycle of temples that's coming back. That's because M19's rotating and they want to keep those in the format. Fable Pass is another card. I think that's just to keep the price down is the main reason. We did have one last hybrid card. It's Sanctum of All. It's 1 of every color of the rainbow. Legendary Enchantment Shrine. Beginning of your upkeep, you may search your library and graveyard for a shrine card, put it on the battlefield. If you do search your library this way, shuffle it. If an ability or another shrine you control triggers while you control 6 or more shrines, that ability triggers an additional time. We'll go over some of the shrines and stuff briefly. Card's cool. I don't know if it would be playable or not. It's hard to say.
I have a hard time seeing this get play. But the only thing I can think of is that if you're in like a draft, is it possible for you to build a 5-color shrine deck for sealed and or draft? Maybe.
I think it'd be easier in draft than it would be for sealed.
Yeah.
Because shrines aren't actually very good in sealed.
No.
Unless you get multiples, it's hard to do that because you have to dedicate yourself so early.
Right. But, I mean, you have the white shrine. It's 1 white. Sanctum of Tranquil Light. 5 and a white. Tap target creature, and it costs 1 less for each shrine you have. You have the blue shrine is Sanctum of Calm Waters, 3 in a blue. And then at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you draw X cards, where X is the number of shrines, and then you discard a card. The black shrine is of Stone Fangs, 1 colorless and 1 black. Each opponent loses a life, and you gain X life, which is the amount of shrines you have. Then we have Sanctum of Shattered Heights, 2 in a red, and then it's 1 discarded land card, and it deals X damage to target creature or player equals to the number of shrines you have. And then the last one is the green shrine, which is 2 in a color, 2 in a green, and then at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, add X mana of any 1 color, where X is the number of shrines you control.
Yeah, they're cool for sure. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah, the fact that the only one that's really going to push you to win the game is the black one. And then the other ones are really just drawing you cards.
Yeah, just trying to get you ahead.
Yeah.
Giving you resources. Like I said, it's cool. Don't know if it's going to play. It's definitely cool, the EDH card for sure.
Yeah, you can have an entire shrine build around.
Yeah. Then the last rare that we needed to go over was a land, actually. Animal Sanctuary, colorless land. tap it for a colorless, or we could pay 2 and tap, put a +1 counter on target bird, cat, dog, goat, ox, or snake. This card's cool, but that's about it. I do. Me and Steven's actually going to be brewing up on Pioneer Cats.
Okay.
We'll definitely be including this.
Yeah, no, this will be a card that'll see a little bit of fringe play. You'll definitely see play in EDH. And if you've got the cat or dog deck in limited, you will be playing this, I'm sure.
Yep.
Get your hands on it.
And to quickly, because we want to be respectful of everybody's time, just to go over some of the most the uncommons that are ones like Bryn Ringmare is going to be great. It's 2 and a white, 2/1 white mono white creature, as I mentioned, flying. Non-creature spells cost 1 more to cast. This card was awesome when it was originally in standard. I expect it to make a presence again. It's gonna be great in historic. You go Thalia into this and make people tax. Rewind is 2 and 2 blue, counter target spell. Untap up to 4 lands. Going to be great in Reclamation. Great Reclamation card. You mentioned all the Sanctums. We don't need to really do much about there. People are going to like this. Teferi's Tutelage, 2 and a blue. When it's there in this battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. When you draw a card, target opponent mills 2 cards.
Yep. The other notable blue uncommon is Miscast. Where it's 1 blue and it'll be counter target instant or sorcery.
Oh, yep, I really like that card. It's kind of like a Dispel in a way. Unsubstantiate's another card that I really like when it's in the format. It's just a good little catch card. Return target spell or creature to its owner's hand. Good way to deal with uncounterable things.
Yep.
For black cards, let's see if I...
Eliminate is really big. That's just the upgrade spell now, so it's 1 black, 1 colorless. Destroy target creature or planeswalker with CMC 3 or less.
Yep. That reminds me, in commons, we actually have Grasp of Darkness coming back, which is a very big card to have in the format. We're not going to be going over much of the commons because we don't have a super lot of time to do that, but that was just one that was on my mind. I do like Silver Smoke Ghoul, 2 and a black. It's a 3/1 zombie vampire. Begin your end step if you gain 3 or more life this turn, return it from the graveyard to the battlefield tapped. 1 in the black, sacrifice it, draw a card. I play Drudge. We play Creeping Shield. This card's awesome.
Yep.
That's all I need to say about that. And we can just keep doing it to keep the Drudge train alive. That's a good Magic card for what we're trying to do.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's freaking out about that for Dredge.
Oh yeah, you have to. It's awesome.
Good thing I have Containment Priest.
Let's not talk about that negativity. We don't need that negativity in our life. Let's see if there's anything else here.
Cultivate got up is now uncommon, obviously. And I'm very excited for that for the ramp spells. And then they have Fierce Empath to find their big threat as well.
Yep, both those. And with Cultivate, it's going to feel like the ramp decks during cons where we had Nisa's Pilgrimage into Explosive Vegetation. Mm-hmm. Same thing now. Yep. We can honestly go that route. A little bit different system, but similar. Thrashy Bronto done another reprint to keep it standard, but I like that a lot.
I'm always a big fan of that card.
Yep. Tormod's Crypt, another good card to have in the format. Card I'm very high on is Conclave Mentor, green and a white. Whenever one or more +1 counters will be put on the creature you control, you put that many +1 counters on that creature instead. When this dies, you gain life equal to its power. It's just another Constrictor that we had, so we can play Harn scale style decks in this format. And in Historic, the 3-drop enchantment actually says double those counters.
Okay.
So it's gonna be wild.
No, this is gonna be great. There's gonna be a great build around, and we're gonna see a deck pop up just for it. So.
Yep, I agree. What we have here. Just seeing if there's anything else. The Watcher of the Spears is cool in a blue-white flyers list. It's flying. Creature spells with flying costs 1 less. When their creature is battlefield under control, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn. With flying in it as a battlefield, I should say.
We've got a slow reanimator effect with Obsessive Stitcher as well. Okay. Which is pretty cool. 3 mana, 1 colorless, 1 blue, 1 black, 0/3. You can draw and discard with it, but then if you pay 4 mana, 1 of which has to be blue, 1 of which has to be black, and sacrifice it, you return a creature card from your graveyard back. So it's just kind of cool to have a reanimation effect that way.
Yeah, no, I agree. The set overall looks hot.
Yeah.
It looks like a good set. Recommend it. I know I bought 50 packs on Arena because that expires tonight. So I want to make sure to get that because it's just a good deal.
Yep, I'll be buying it here in just a bit.
Yep. So I'd recommend for anybody playing Arena. Historic's going to be amazing too. If you don't know much about Historic, check out our Jumpstart preview show. Next week, we're going to actually me and Steven will be back together to get with Danny from another member on Team Swish. We're going to be talking casual Magic. Casual Magic's a little interesting term, but it's going to be more or less like tabletop. A game Danny's a big fan of called Judge's Tower. We're going to be going through everything Judge's Tower related. Just more relaxed. We're not going to be talking about competitive Magic at all during the event. During the podcast, it's going to be all about casual and having a good time.
It'll be very enjoyable.
Yeah, we're going to be enjoying it, and then in a few weeks, we're going to be trying to get some more guests that aren't associated with Team Swish. I'm in contact with a few of them right now, and it should be nice. I'm looking forward to it. Duy, did you have a good time?
Always. And if there's anything out there that you guys are seeing, want to hear us talk about, let us know. We can definitely get this going and get it on the cast. Because Larry and Steven are doing wonderful work here. So.
Yup, and we are officially on Spotify thanks to our good teammate Andrew.
Yep.
He really is busting his tail and helping us get these out there. We're waiting to get approved through iTunes and so forth. Eventually, we will get onto them and we'll be able to get the word out as much as possible. Another reason we're going to get more people on the show so we can just word of mouth some promotion. That's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'll be a couple weeks for the other avenues, but we're on Spotify right now, and we'll be dropping some links.
Yep, and we're looking forward to it. But it was unfortunate. Ray's connection wasn't the greatest, but it was enjoyable to have him on while we did.
Always.
Oh, yeah, Ray's awesome. But until next time, we do thank you all for tuning in. This is Talk Swish. We will catch you next week.